we will begin in a seated position. So find your seated position. Some props that you might like for today's practice. You might notice I'm sitting on a blanket. So that's just a little bit of cushion for my tailbone. And later it will become cushion for my knees. You might like to have a yoga block or a yoga strap nearby, and if you don't have those items, it's not necessary. I'll also teach you ways to do this work without any of those props. So whatever seated position is right for you, I'm sitting in a position called Sukhasana, and it means easy pose or happy pose, but for some of us it doesn't make us very happy if our knees are really sore or stiff. So feel free to extend the legs out. Feel free to come into more of a diamond. You can also bring blankets or pillows underneath the knees. You can also sit back and support yourself on a wall if you would like. And so really, however you are the most comfortable, find that spot. And so today I'm going to be really focusing on the whole upper body. So everything from like the hips up. However, we will be doing a lot of work with the lower body. We'll just be kind of emphasizing the upper body. And the reason for that is because as you know, we've gone through this time, we've had some anxiety and stress and things like that. But also as life starts to kind of come back to maybe normal, we might be working a little bit more. I know some of you who have been able to work from home during this quarantine, you know, a lot of that entails computer work, and computer work is all the upper body. And those of us who are now going back to work are using our bodies a lot. So today I want to offer a mudra for the nervous system. And so what we do is with the right hand. So the right hand, we're going to touch the tip of the thumb to the tip of the ring finger. Okay, and then you can just let that rest on your lap or on your knee. So your right hand is done now, and now we'll do the left. So the left hand is a little different. You're going to touch the tip of the thumb to the tip of the middle finger. And so it will be your index finger and your ring and little finger extended. You'll rest the hands onto the thighs, or the knees, with the palms facing upward. Release the shoulders back and down with the spine, how that spine just draws downward. And so this mudra is known as the Vyana Vayu mudra. So these are different kinds of winds in the body, the Vayu, the winds or the currents of energy. And so the breath is the language of the nervous system. You know, so many times when we are in flight, when the sympathetic nervous system has taken over, we want to get out of that situation. It makes us uncomfortable, whether it be in the car or fighting with our partner or something like that. We just start to draw the shoulders up and in, and we want to get out of there. And so this is a really great mudra for allowing the parasympathetic nervous system to come into play, which is the opposite of the sympathetic. It's the relaxing, it's the digesting, it's the breathing. So as you breathe, we're going to emphasize the exhale. So with every exhale, really imagine those shoulders just dropping down, making space between the ears and the shoulders. Just taking a couple focused breaths as we start our practice today. Nourishing all of the energetic pathways in the body, supporting the nervous system so that everything can really function optimally. Allowing those pathways to clear themselves and become calm and breathe more focused, exhaling deeper than the inhale. We'll take 3 more breaths, breathing in and breathing out twice as long and deep. Softening into the floor. And with the inhale, feeling yourself lift. And with the exhale, feeling the tailbone, the sits bones, the thighs melting into the floor. Last conscious breath here, seated in the mudra. We'll release our hands and just kind of let the hands slip off the sides of your legs down to the floor. And start to gently lean your head towards the right. You should start to feel a gentle tug between your left ear and your left shoulder. And just take a conscious breath there again with that exhale, imagining that shoulder lowering, dropping, and grounding. Let's slowly just bring our head back up to center and do it on the other side, leaning the head towards the left only until you feel that tug begin to happen on the right side. And we'll take 2 more of those conscious breaths, feeling that exhale, draw the shoulder, the hand down, grounding. Nice. Let's bring our head back up to center. Bring your hands out to the sides. Palms shine forward so that you're in cactus arms. Your elbows are lifted out to the sides of your arms. And we're going to start to internally rotate the arms so that the hands come down just as far as they can. I notice that my right arm goes way farther than my left arm. And then we'll inhale and lift them back up, open the chest. Now as you flip your palms back down, lengthen your arms and bring your hands back behind you. Touch your fingertips behind you. If you can, interlace your fingers behind you. Draw your elbows a little closer together so that you're rolling your shoulders back. Open your throat a little bit by looking up. Big inhale, and as you exhale, release, but don't let your hands go. We're going to bring the hands over to the right, so you're having to bend through your left elbow. Your hands are still clasped, but right in the waist on the right side. Again, we're going to lean our head towards the right so that you're feeling that stretch between your left ear and your left shoulder. The right ear is cinching closer to the right shoulder. Feel free to explore a little bit, lifting your chin gently, drawing your chin forward and down. If you find a good spot, maybe hanging out there and letting it stretch. Let's take 1 more of those conscious breaths, and with your exhale start to release and bring your hands back apart, back out to the sides, back to cactus arms. You might feel kind of like a blood flush go through that left arm. Now let's rotate the hands down, rotate the hands up. Lengthen the arms out, bring them back behind you. Interlace your fingers again behind your back, but this time do it in a way that's a little awkward. It's a little weird feeling. And then bend your right elbow and we'll bring the fists into the left waist. We're going to start to lean our head towards the left so that the right side of the neck is really stretching here. Start to explore through the neck, through the top of the shoulder, by tilting your head back or forward, trying lots of different angles so that you can seek a stretch. Something that feels good. Maybe it's a little uncomfortable. And if it does become really uncomfortable, really find that focused, conscious breath. where the exhales are slightly longer than the inhales. And whenever you have had enough, go ahead and release. Release your hands, bring your head back up. Arms come out like cactus arms. Internal rotation of the arms, feeling a little looser, and external rotation. We're going to interlace the fingers but up above our head and bring the hands behind the back of the head. So just slipping them right behind the back of the head. Let your elbows come a bit closer together. Start to round through your back, through your mid-back, through your neck. Feel that lengthening happen from C7 up to the occiput. Maybe it goes down in between your shoulder blades. Maybe you're tight like me and you can feel that all the way into your lower back. Begin to lift just through the back of the head, rounding back up, coming back up to center, opening the elbows, squeezing back. Push the head gently back into the hands to really squeeze, like you're squeezing a lemon in between your shoulder blades. Juicing that lemon. Beautiful. We're going to come back to the relaxed position, elbows folded on either side of the face, gently looking down, but keep length in your spine so you're sitting up tall, just looking down with the neck. Lift just your right elbow. Point your left elbow out towards the right so that you're lifting through that right side from the right elbow down to the armpit, down to the waist and hip, leaning towards the left. And then we'll bring it back up and try it on the other side. So you're going to squeeze the right side back towards the face. Lift just the left elbow out. Lean to the right, lifting through the left elbow, through the left armpit, side of the ribs, underneath the ribs into the waist and into the hip. Don't forget to breathe. Slowly bring it back up. And come back to center, round it over all the way, curling into your body. And with an inhale, open your elbows, release the arms out, and bring those fingertips down. Now let's give our legs a little break here. If you're seated like me, your legs get a little bit tight, so wiggle them out once in a while. If you're ever feeling anything that doesn't feel quite right in your body, then it's just an indication to change something. So let's bring our arms back out to the side. We're going to drop onto our right hand, and the left hand's going to start to sweep out and up. From there, we have to kind of crunch into that right side so that the left side can expand. So it's just a different way to stretch some of those same muscles that we did with our previous stretch. Take a big breath here, and even longer exhale. Inhale again, exhale again. And with this inhale, bring yourself back up to center. Let's ground through that left hand, bring the right hand up, and then begin to crunch or fold into that left side so that the right side can expand. Make sure your right leg, your right sit bone stays grounded. So you need that anchored space to lift away from it and create length. One more deep breath. With your inhale, bring it back up. All right. Bring your arms back out to the sides, robin's breath. So squeeze your hands back as far as you can. Try to almost bring your hands back, palms open. And then as you round forward, exhale, bring your hands together or give yourself a hug, wrap your arms around. Remember which elbow's on top. Mine's the right. So as I inhale, I'm going to squeeze my hands open and back as far as I can. And as you exhale, rounding over, maybe even giving yourself a hug with the opposite elbow on top. Inhale again, squeeze the chest open, miniature back bend. Exhale, round over, maybe the other elbows on top again. One last time, inhale, open the chest. And exhale, coming back to a rounded over, giving yourself that nice hug. And we'll bring it back. All right, so if this is comfortable for your legs, feel free to stay here. We have not stretched through the front of our neck yet, so that's what we're going to do next. It is very difficult to stretch these muscles because they're very small, the scalenes, that sternocleidomastoid. So instead we're going to stretch the fascia or the connective tissue over those muscles. So if you're wearing a turtleneck or anything, you'll have to pull that down so that you can get your hands on your skin. So one hand is going to be on your chest over your heart. The other hand will just lightly come over that hand. And then you want to start to just let gravity pull those hands down. Start to look up. You start to feel that gentle stretch in the tissue, just the skin, the connective tissue of your throat, maybe under your tongue a little bit. Play with rocking your head gently from right to left while you are looking up gently. Remember, if there's anything painful, it's just your body telling you to back up a little bit, not go so far. Don't be so hard on yourself. It doesn't always need to be painful to be effective. When you've had enough, you can release, bring your head back up, release your hands. Now we're going to stretch the sternocleidomastoid. So how you do that is we're going to lean our head to the right and then take your right hand and bring it on your temple. So if you're wearing glasses, your fingertips might rest on the edge of your glasses right by your temple. And we're going to gently pull the head over and gently tip the nose up. We're stretching through the front of the neck. For me, I feel more compression almost through the back of the neck. So if that's the case, explore. If there's something painful, back up. See what you can find in the neck. And we'll bring our head back up to center, release the right hand. You're now going to look to the right. And when you do that, your left hand can come up and you feel that little ropey muscle on the side of the left side of your neck. And so if you want to, you can take your fingertips, I take my index and my middle finger, and gently just roll over those little ropey muscles. Especially where they're really tight down by the clavicle. You can even pinch them a little bit if you want to. And then we'll come back to center, and we're going to do it on the other side. So lean your head over to the left. Take your left hand and bring it to your temple, over top your eye. So again, if you're wearing glasses, it might be that your fingertips are right on that edge of the frame or right on the arm of the glasses. So then your left elbow becomes your weight, and you start to draw over, but then tilt your head up gently. Relax the right shoulder down. It wants to feed itself up to that ear, and we have to remind it to stay down. One more breath there. Long exhale. Feel free to explore a little bit, tilting your head forward and back. And then release whenever you've had enough. It can be at any time. Bring your head back up. Release the hand. Turn your head to the left. That's going to expose sternocleidomastoid, or this nice big rope on the right side. So I'm going to bring my right hand up and start to just massage those little ropes in the neck, especially by your collarbone. Where your collarbone meets your sternum in the middle, that's where this all attaches. And we'll start to release that, bringing our hands and our head back forward. And from here, let's start to bring some attention into our lower body. And then we'll bring our feet together here. So feet together, knees apart, any angle works. So if you're really trying to feel a stretch, you can bring your feet a bit closer to your body. Sit up nice and tall. If you need some support underneath the knees, of course, feel free to bring in props like blocks or blankets. And if you still need more of a stretch in the hips, start to fold yourself into that posture. You can bring awareness to your upper body by tucking your chin to your chest and lengthening the whole back of the neck, giving a break to the area in the front of the neck that we just stretched out. While you're here, let's start to rock from one side to the other, kind of just sweeping your upper body to the right and to the left. Go as slowly, as quickly as you would like. As I do that, I notice how the stretch switches from hip to hip and from waist to waist, side to side. Beautiful. Roll yourself back up. Lengthen just the right leg out. Of course, the left knee can stay supported by blocks or blankets. We'll take a big inhale up to the sky, fanning the arms up, and then reaching with your fingertips towards your right toes. Or maybe you're at your ankle today, or your shin, or maybe you bend your elbows and rest your hands on top of your right knee. Wherever you choose to be, round over, chin to chest. As you do that, you come into head to knee position, known as Janu Sirsasana, and you should feel the stretch behind the back of your right thigh. So it doesn't really matter if you can fully rest your head on your knee. All that matters is that you feel that length happening from your right heel to your right knee, or maybe beyond up into your right thigh. We'll switch into a twisted head to knee. It's known as Pavrita Janu Sirsasana. So we want to rest our right hand on our right foot or our right hand on our right shin. Sweep the left hand out and back behind you so that your heart opens up to the left, to your left knee. Reach your left hand up to the ceiling and maybe over your head. Now remember, we're emphasizing the upper body today. So try to relax your shoulders. We're trying to get away from that sympathetic nervous system. We want to go into parasympathetic, where we're resting. We're relaxed. One more deep breath here, focusing more on the exhale. Inhale and fan your way back up to center. Rotate back forward. And we're going to kick out our left leg. Wiggle it out. Now this posture will feel a little bit uneven because we've only really stretched out our right leg and our left side. So let's sweep the hands up overhead, lengthening up. Both hands reaching forward for maybe your toes, shins, knees, ankles, wherever you are today. Maybe the arms are taken out of the equation here. You can just relax and rest the shoulders and allow just the weight of the upper body, the tilting of the torso, to lengthen through the backs of both legs. Of course, my left leg feels a lot tighter because I haven't really stretched that side out. So let's get that done. With your next inhale, roll back up to seated. Go ahead and bend your right knee and let it drop out to the right. Feel free to support it or do something different with this right leg if this is not serving you, if this position does not work for you. Take a big inhale up to the sky, lengthening all the way up, and then begin to fold over, drawing your belly to your thigh. Your hands can reach for your toes, your ankles, your shin. Maybe you bend your elbows and stack your palms on top of your knee. When you start to bow over and draw chin to chest, you're beginning to bring yourself into the full posture of head to knee position, Janu Sirsasana. Let's take 2 more breaths here, emphasizing the exhale. Relaxing with every exhale. Letting the shoulders soften, the neck soften. And we'll start to just lift our head and our torso just a little bit so that we can come into the next variation. Your left hand rests on your left foot or your left ankle or maybe your left knee. The right hand is going to sweep out to the wall behind you, opening the chest so that your heart faces your right knee. The right hand sweeps up to the sky, over your head as you start to tilt towards your left foot. So remember, relax your shoulders, relax your head, let it drop towards the left. Open the right side of your body. And breathe deep. Every exhale gives you permission to relax. Stay in the position and soften your body. With your next inhale, fan that right hand back up to center all the way and rotate back ahead. Send that right foot back out ahead as well. Maybe wiggle your legs out. We'll try 1 more forward fold. Open your arms out to the sides. Squeeze like the chest is opening. Up to the ceiling, length. And begin to fold over, reaching for your toes or ankles, shins or knees. Remember, my friends, if you have a strap handy, you can always use that strap around the balls of the feet or the arches of the feet, working your way down the lengths of the straps towards your feet. So, if you have that strap handy, it's really nice to use that as well. Relax the shoulders. I only say it because I found mine way up by my ears, and I found that tension in my shoulders again. What becomes normal for us. So let's change that and relax and lengthen the neck, lengthen your spine. And when you do all that, relaxing the shoulders down, lengthening through the crown, the top of the head, the neck, you should feel an increase in sensation in your hamstrings. Big inhale. With your long exhale, start to roll back up. Now before we move along, bring your hands behind you, open your chest, bend your knees, wiggle your knees from side to side. Just rocking the knees. Make sure your feet and your knees stay separated. You might even be lifting off of a hip as you go from side to side. All right. We're going to move into a gentle twist here, so I'm going to just turn to the side so that you can see what I'm doing a little bit better. So, right now I am turned to the left side, so I'm going to sweep my left hand up to the ceiling, and I'm going to drop it to the outer right leg. And then from there, I don't want to collapse through my shoulders. I want to open the shoulders. So I want to push through that back right hand just a little bit. Drop the left shoulder back. Try to find length in the spine as maybe you take out a little bit of that twist into that knee by elbowing or bringing some of that tension into that thigh. One more breath. And we'll switch sides. Sweep your left hand up to the ceiling. Drop it to the mat behind you. Right hand sweeps up to the ceiling now. And we're going to hook it on the outside of the left knee. Careful not to let your knees knock together. Keep them separated. Keep them strong. Now we don't want to round in the back. We want to have a straight, strong back. And you want to start to create some twist, maybe even by looking over your back left shoulder. Take out some of that twist into your right elbow. Feel it in the mid, lower back. Great work. And start to unwind back to center. Rock the knees left and right. And from here we are going to shift to hands and knees. So it's kind of an opposite posture to this. So if you'd like, you can swing your legs around. You can come on to hands and knees. I always like to use this blanket as a cushion for the knees. We'll bring the hands down. And we'll start with bringing the awareness of this cat and cow posture to our shoulders and neck. So, as you come into cow pose, you want to squeeze that lemon between your shoulder blades. So feel your shoulder blades come together and lift your chin, lift your throat. Take a big breath. Do just the opposite. Tuck your chin to your chest. Feel your shoulder blades come apart as you look back towards your thighs. Inhale, cow. Open your chest, open your throat, squeeze the lemon. Exhale, round the back, look to your thighs, push into the mat. Inhale, cow. Start to bring that attention into your belly. Exhale, cat. Pulling that belly up towards the spine, like a backwards crunch. Inhale, cow. Lift the tailbone, lift the crown. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, tuck the crown. Two more like that. Big inhale. Even longer exhale. Big inhale. And an even longer exhale. Beautiful. Bring your awareness forward. Come back to your tabletop posture. All right, and from here we're going to come into our first downward dog, but we're not going to hang out there long. We're just transitioning to standing. So tuck those toes. Start to roll up into your downward dog. You might begin to walk over your blanket, or you might move your blanket out of the way. It's up to you. So from here, we'll start to walk forward towards our hands, and we want to end up in a standing forward fold so that your hands are just kind of reaching down, your knees are soft, your head is relaxed, arms again are just kind of dangling, so there's no tension there. Just dangling like a rag doll. Assessing how your legs are feeling, how your arms are feeling. And we're going to start to roll up. So bend your knees as deep as you can. Turn your tailbone down. So you start to sit into an invisible chair. And from there, the lumbar starts to roll up. As you go, your legs start to lengthen. Then it's your thoracic, your shoulders, your ribs. Then your shoulders roll back and the head can start to roll up so that you are gazing straight ahead. With an inhale, sweep your hands out and up overhead. And with an exhale, bring your hands to your heart center. So sorry if my head is cut out of the picture. We'll squeeze the shoulders back once again. Inhale here. Exhale, hands come to the sides of your body. I'll turn forward so you can see. Inhale, open your arms to the sides, up and overhead, fingertips touch, through heart center, down to your belly button. We'll do that again. Inhale, opening to the sides. Exhale, through heart center, through to the belly button, through to the pelvis. Release the hands. Last time, just like that. Inhaling up. This time the fingertips are going to touch. We bend through the knees and forward fold. Soften through the knees, so bend them. Separate your feet wider. Awesome work. So that first 3 rounds is a quarter salutation. This is a half salutation. So we will lift our hands to our shins. Our body will start to resemble the number 7. So as you lengthen your legs and lengthen your arms and draw your shoulder blades back to squeeze that lemon, you start to look like a number 7. One more breath. Exhale, bend your knees a lot. Sweep your hands out ahead of you. Bend through your knees, coming all the way up to standing. Exhale, hands to heart center, all the way down to the belly button, to the pelvis. Inhale again, up overhead. This time we're going to exhale, bring our arms out to the sides, soften through the knees to a forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. That's called half forward fold or Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, bend through your knees. Last time, inhale, sweep your hands up overhead, lengthening all the way to standing. Exhale, hands through to heart center, all the way through to your belly button, pelvic bone. Inhale, hands come out, up overhead. Exhale, out to the sides. Fold through the lower back by bending through the knees, reaching towards your ankles, and softening the belly on the thighs. So it's not so much about being able to reach the floor with straight legs. It's about being able to lengthen the back by folding over the legs. By bending through the knees, the belly wraps over the thighs. Alrighty, from here, let's just test out our legs a little bit. So if you'd like to, you can try straightening just your right leg. Ooh, that's tight. And then we'll bend it again, soften it, and that helps. We can relax a little bit more. And with the inhale, try to straighten just the left knee. That side for me isn't as tight. Still there though, I still feel it. And then we'll bend the knee and relax. Let's try it one more time. Inhale, just lengthening the right leg. Exhale and bend both knees. Relax. Inhale, straightening just the left leg. And exhale, bend through both knees. Inhale, lift halfway, flatten that back. You want to squeeze that lemon between your shoulder blades. Look down at your mat or at your toes. Last breath. With this one, we're going to bend through our knees, walk the hands forward to downward facing dog, step your feet back to downward facing dog. So you've got to find that posture wherever it is for you. The feet are separated here. Again, the knees can be soft. Your heels can be lifted away from the floor, so you don't have to have your feet flat. You can certainly move here by walking it out. So we'll be holding this posture for another breath. All right. So let's start to walk our feet back just a little bit. Look towards your hands and roll your body forward into a plank. Nice, strong plank position. You can certainly drop to the knees in plank. I prefer that a lot of the time. And then I'll just relax the feet, let the tops of the feet rest on the mat. And then I'm going to start to try to get myself down to the floor. by bending the elbows, rolling through the thighs, the belly, and the chest. Now we want to keep away from our shoulders rolling forward and our elbows fanning out there. That can really bring a lot of strain into the shoulders. So we want to try to keep those shoulder blades back, like they are squeezing that lemon. Let your elbows pull back into your ribs. Start to look forward. Start to push your belly button down into the floor. Start to activate your thighs by lifting your knees, pushing into the tops of your feet. One more breath. Lower down, relax. Let your chin rest. Let's try it again. Sphinx pose. Push into the tops of your feet, activate your thighs. Push into your pelvis, push into your belly, let your ribs lift and squeeze your shoulder blades back. Chin looking forward. Head, of course, lifting. One more breath. Lower it down. We're going to find our way to child's pose. So find your way up to tabletop posture. Arrange yourself however you like. Your knees can separate. Walk your hands forward. Start to push back through your hands and find your way as far back towards your heels as you can. Now if you have any kind of tension, dealing with pain in the knees, then you might keep your hips more lifted and try to just melt your chest towards the floor or towards your legs, whichever is more comfortable for you. Try to let your forehead rest. If it doesn't reach, you might stack your hands and let your forehead rest on your hands. If it still doesn't reach that, then you can stack fists, one on top of the other, and rest your forehead on stacked fists. Or a yoga block. Let's take 2 more breaths, just resting, finding that exhale nice and deep. Longer than the inhale. We'll begin to extend our hands back forward for the top of our mat. We'll lift back up to that tabletop pose. Separate your fingers here to bring the weight evenly through those fingers and through the palms. Separate the knees. Tuck your toes and roll up into downward facing dog, looking back at your ankles or your toes. Soften the knees, maybe walk it out, pressing your right heel down as you bend your left knee and vice versa. Look from our toes to our hands, and on the way start to tippy toe forward or walk your hands back to your feet. We'll lift up halfway, hands to the shins or the knees. Shoulder blades are drawing down, away from your ears, and back like they're squeezing that lemon. One more breath. Exhale, nice and deep, nice and long. Beautiful. So I'm back to that relaxed forward fold. And in the forward fold, my knees are soft. They're bent. And my belly is on my thighs. So we're trying to drape our torso over the legs. It comes with time. We're going to roll up. So bend your knees even deeper. We're starting to sit into the chair and roll all the way to standing. Shoulder blades come back. Hands sweep out, up, overhead, lengthening through the whole body. Exhale, hands through heart center. Let's take a focused breath right here. Samastiti, inhale. Exhale, longer and deeper. Relax the nervous system. We're going to do a full Sun Salutation. Inhale, hands at heart center. Exhale, hands to the sides of your body. Inhale, sweep your hands up overhead. Exhale, hands through heart center, down through the belly, through the pelvis. They release as you bend your knees. Bring your belly on your thighs. Hands start to reach down, head relaxes, and you should be folded over the legs. So again, the legs are bent. You don't want your legs to be straight, or you're going to feel your hamstrings really overloaded with tension. So soften the knees as much as you can, and if there's still pain, separate your feet a little bit wider. All right, let's lengthen just the right leg. See how that hamstring is feeling, and rebend it. When you inhale, try it on the left side, just lengthening the left leg. See if that side's feeling better. And with an exhale, bend both knees. Let's try it one more time. Inhale, lengthen the right leg. Exhale, bend the right leg and the left leg. Last time on the left. Relax your head, relax your back. Lift halfway, figure 7, so the hands come to the shins. Shoulders roll away from the ears so your neck gets a little longer. Then squeeze your shoulder blades back to open your chest. Squeeze the lemon. One more breath. With that exhale, bend through your knees and start to walk your hands forward. Fingers spread. Step your feet back, downward facing dog. Make sure in downward dog your big toes don't touch, so you want your feet to be separated. With an inhale, look to your hands and roll your body weight forward into plank. You can drop to your knees for plank. Lower yourself down to your belly, thighs, belly, chest. Inhale, push into the tops of the feet. Activate your knees, squeeze your chest open, elbows to your sides. Exhale, lower down. Find your way back up, tabletop position. Find your way to your child's pose or extended puppy. We'll take a full breath here, resting on the knees. Inhale, tabletop, back to hands and knees, tuck your toes. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale again, keep breathing fluidly. We'll spend another breath or two here in down dog. Really feel yourself pushing the mat away. Feel your shoulders engaging and drawing back to your spine, lifting through your tailbone. Look to your hands and start to tippy-toe forward. Start to walk your hands back to your feet. Inhale and lift halfway. Straight back, straight arms, straight legs. And then relax everything. Bend your knees, separate your feet. Relax your back by rounding over your legs. Relax your arms. Relax your neck. Shake your head, no. Shake your head, yes. Move slow. From here, fingertips can sink into the floor. Bend your knees. Sweep your hands off the floor, out ahead of you like you're sitting in a chair. And start to lengthen all the way up, lengthening into maybe a mini back bend. Hands come to heart center, big exhale. Lovely work standing today. Let's bring ourselves back onto the ground. We're going to start to lay back onto our back. Now, before you lay back, if you are unfamiliar with eagle arms, I will show you what that looks like now because we're going to be doing a reclined eagle today. So, the hands come out in cactus like we've been doing. The forearms come together. That can be eagle arms right there. If you can get the wind around by sinking one elbow into the opposite elbow crook. This is eagle arms. You could bring the backs of the wrists together or a full wind around. Excuse me. Any of these are eagle arms. So keep those in mind as we lay back. So we're going to find our way back, laying down with our feet flat and our knees bent. Bring your arms out into those cactus arms. Your fingertips might be pointed up to the ceiling. Try to rotate your arms so that the backs of your hands are resting on either side of your head or the mat. And we're going to take our right leg and lift it up off the ground and cross it over top the left leg. If you'd like, you can even hook those right toes behind the left ankle. That's the full wrap around. But just hooking the leg over like you're crossing your legs is perfectly fine. Now if there's pain with that and it feels like you're pinching something in the right groin, then move your legs to a figure 4 so that it's your right ankle that's sitting on the top of your left knee. So those are all the options. From here, eagle arms with the left elbow underneath. So you want your right elbow on top. And then you can try to bring your hands together, maybe wrap your hands if you'd like. And we're going to try to wipe the ceiling with our elbows. So try to bring your fingertips up to almost touch right over the top of your head. Woo, it's tight in the shoulders. And then we'll sweep the ceiling with our elbows back down to our chest. And if you want to do that a couple times, feels pretty good. Keep breathing, remember that, so that we can keep that nervous system relaxed. We'll unwind the arms, bring them back to the cactus arms with the knuckles or the backs of the hands resting on the floor, palms shining up. Now if that's not possible, feel free to just go back as far as you can. Unwind your right leg. Wiggle your knees apart and back together. So they're like butterfly wings, flapping apart and back together. We're going to do it on the other side. So come back to neutral. Pick your left foot up and cross it over the right knee. Feel free to hook those toes around if you'd like, or come into more of a figure 4 if that feels better on your hips or your back. Arms come up. This time the left elbow's on top, the right elbow's underneath, and we're going to create those eagle arms and sweep the ceiling with our elbows. For me, this side isn't quite as tight. Let's see what you feel. All right. Whenever you've had enough. It could be now, it could be in 10 more sweeps. Release your arms. Let your arms come back to those cactus arms. Unwind your legs. And we'll do a couple butterfly wings with those knees. Opening the knees wide. Bringing them back together. Now if this is comfortable for your arms, feel free to keep them here. It's a great way to stretch out the chest. If you would like more stretch in your chest, try to draw your elbows closer down to the sides. If you need less stretch, bring your fingertips closer together up overhead. If that's making your arms go numb, then rotate your hands down to the sides of your body. Come into more like Shavasana arms. Separate your feet. Knees are bent. Knees are separated also. We're going to be doing very gentle pelvic tilts. So I just press my low back into the floor by rolling my tailbone up, squeezing through the butt just a little bit, and then I'll roll the tailbone down as I lift my low back. So just back and forth, posterior or backwards, anterior, forwards. And from here, lengthen your legs if that serves your back. If when you lengthen your legs it hurts your back, bring a rolled up blanket or a bolster or a pillow, something like that under your knees, or just keep the knees bent with the feet flat. So that's your choice. We will begin to bring our arms down to the sides and onto our belly. It's the opposite position of cactus arms. So just allowing all of those shoulders and chest and bicep muscles to relax after they've been stretched. Allowing all of the sensations to be heard and felt inside of the body. Bringing your awareness back to that focused breath. Breathing in and breathing out, twice as slow, twice as deep. Let your shoulders and the back of your head be heavy on the mat. Let your sacrum and your hips be heavy with no tension. Let your feet be soft. And tune into that long, lengthened out breath. Notice how in even just this small amount of time, the mind has wandered. Bring it back to soothing the nervous system, allowing every exhale to be like a balm, like a salve that you smooth over your entire body, that soothes the body and calms the body. Begin to bring awareness to your feet by just rolling on the backs of the heels, turning the toes in and back out, the knees, the hips, just wiggling the legs. Begin to bring your feet flat with your knees bent, just walking your feet back in closer to your body. Extend your right arm up over your head. And press into your feet, rocking your knees to the right so that you are rolling on to the right side, supporting your head with that right arm that is extended up over the head. You can also curl the arm around your head. Use a yoga block if you have one handy under your head. Let's take a full deep breath here. Begin to press into your left hand and find your way back up to a seated posture where we began our practice today. And if that means that you were seated with your back against the wall, you can do that. Maybe you are sitting on a blanket once again, or a pillow. Maybe your legs do not like being crisscrossed, so find the posture that they enjoy. Take one last deep breath, grounding yourself down into this practice, into your nervous system, calm and relaxed. Take a moment to thank your body for all of the work that you've given during this practice, all of the strength that you have given yourself, the strength that you have earned, the flexibility that you have earned in this last hour, the relaxation, the calmness. Thank your mind for getting you here today, for rolling out that mat for this last hour. And thank you so much for joining me for this practice. I bow to you. I bow to the beam of light that exists within each of you, the same beam of light that exists within my own heart and soul. The beam of light that pervades this entire universe. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you so much.
Namaste.